Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It is Indigenous Peoples Day, so happy all enjoying the day of the Native people of this country. Good morning, Dad. How are you? But good morning, all. This is Faith Family Focus, and I am Faith Suggs, one of your co-hosts. I'm so excited because it's a holiday. Former Duke women's basketball graduate, also currently CEO and founder of Brand by Faith, a social media and branding company, as well as host of The Huddle, a spinoff of Faith Family Focus, a wonderful show that airs 10:04 a.m. Eastern on Fridays. And good morning to my father, Shafer Suggs, former NFL player with the New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals, and has served on the executive board with the NFL Foreign Players of Chicago, also known as the RPFPC. Good morning, Dad. How are you?
You got it right this time. I'm doing great.
I read it right off the page.
exciting Monday. Looking forward to another good week. Just very, very happy to have a nice, pleasant weekend. The weather was beautiful.
Did you do anything special? Did you watch some football?
Well, you know what I did yesterday? Was it Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Did something very, very special. It was the 10th anniversary of the passing of Mom. So I did our traditional visiting of the tree. And I don't know if you sent those pictures, but Boo and Angel and I went to visit the tree. Just a beautiful day. Got a chance to really celebrate. Got a chance to speak with you. Got a chance to speak with your brother. It was just a beautiful day for reflection. I'm just so thankful to have you guys in my life because, after 10 years, you think it gets easier, but it's still a time of reflection and just gave us an opportunity. I got a chance to go through a whole bunch of old photos. As you know, I was sending a lot of them to you guys, but this was a really beautiful day, and just very, very grateful. I'd like to reflect on it.
A nice day of reflection, for sure. I understand that, and it was a Saturday, and it was a beautiful day. It looked like so. It just looked like a wonderful opportunity for you to go do, and you've done it by yourself with the dogs the last 2 days. And I'm getting that picture for you, so it can pop up here. But
okay, I knew that's what you were doing, trying to find those pictures, but you'll find them.
Yeah,
but, really nice.
Yeah, well, and we talked a little bit about an awesome show last Monday talking about it and just kind of giving everyone the rundown of kind of our routine and our how we reflect on it and how we've reflected on the last 10 years. But yeah, no, it's an awesome experience. It's funny. I told you guys go. Just looking at all the pictures from the years each year and seeing how tall Devin got out of nowhere in pictures.
Do you have the first picture? If it's too hard to find it, that's okay. But the first picture from 2010, when we actually planted the tree, and then again, as you fill in those pictures, I was able to post the progression of the tree, and not only were we growing, along with the tree was growing, but we were growing along with the tree, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally as a family. And then physically watching Devin just go from being the smallest to the tallest. Because we haven't had all three of us there for 3 years. But at that 3 years ago, we had the pandemic last year and then this year. So there it is. That's the original. We actually planted that tree that day. And there it is. That was the beginning of it. And so if this, hold on for a second, the tree, go back to that one picture. I want viewers to know that the tree is also located next to my mom's tree. And between Sue's tree and Mom's tree, there are those beautiful knockout roses that they both absolutely loved.
Right.
And so it was beautiful. And they were in full bloom yesterday. I was able to pluck a couple of them and lay them on mommy's memorial plaque. So they were really nice. There was a family that was sitting next to us fishing, and it just reminded me how much your grandmother loved to go fishing. And so it was a beautiful day. Blue and Angel was just so mild and chilled, and just kind of sit up under the tree and relaxed for a little while. But yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah. So here we go, the progression a little bit though, guys. If you could look at Devin's face and look at Devin's face. The baby face, but he'll always kind of grow. It's just so funny. Wonderful, wonderful place to go though. I'm glad we have it. I also had a wonderful show on Friday.
You did.
For those of you who didn't tune in, Sunday was World Mental Health Day. So a special day yesterday for all people. It's nice to see how the discussion around mental health has just grown so much in the last couple of years, especially with COVID happening. But I had a wonderful guest in Lene Belton, former teammate of mine, but also a wonderful friend and sister and a great advocate for mental health with her foundation and just trying to raising awareness around other people's stories and their experience surrounding their journeys through their mental health, and whether it was anxiety to depression to a person with schizophrenia, whatever it is. She's talked to a lot of amazing people. And so great opportunity. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. I do have our former tips. So we ended the show with a couple fun tips for self-care. And here was one: you have to take the time to figure out what you like for you and not anyone else. Set a routine and time just for you. It doesn't have to be a huge monumental thing. It can simply be going to your special store. So a couple of great ones that she thought of and she sent over to me before the show. I thought it was awesome. But yeah, awesome show. If you or anyone you know that has great conversations around mental health and you just feel like you need to pick me up, it was a wonderful, positive discussion around it. And so we had that on Friday on The Huddle with Lene Belton at 10:04 a.m. Eastern. And you can check it out on E360 TV by typing in The Huddle, or you can just scroll down on Facebook. It's there. They're all there.
Yeah. Let me say something, Faith. It was an amazing show. And for me, as a father, and also knowing Lene from the beginning, her journey is pretty fascinating, and her growth and being able to identify. I remember when she was going through that. It might have been your freshman year, your sophomore year, but how much she's grown and become an ambassador for mental illness. And you've been very blessed with some really beautiful people between Coach P and Lene, and surrounding yourself with really good people that are ending the silence and the stigma around mental illness, especially within the sports world. So it was a blessing to watch.
Right. Yeah. It was a nice show. We had a wonderful tribute to Mom though at the end, so that was special and it was a neat one. Enjoyed it very much. Don't know if you guys been keeping up. WNBA Championships started yesterday at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Diana Taurasi and them got their butts smacked by Chicago Sky. They just looked like all over the place. Now, they did have a quicker turnaround than Chicago Sky because they did just play the Aces, Friday? So,
thanks for your comment, Faith. It sounds like you have a bias. I can tell what team.
It's not a bias. I really want Diana to do well. I just was really disappointed in how they played. You know what it looks like, Dad, is that they don't have the depth at the post-playing player position as the Chicago Sky does.
Once you get out, dog girl. Right. Once you get her out, they're in trouble. But I was amazed. They played so much stronger. It looked like they're getting better and better as the year has progressed. I don't think they beat Phoenix earlier in the season, did they?
I don't know. All I know is that you have to understand that they came in 16-16 maybe, or something funky like that was their record. They were sixth they barely made the playoffs. It was something you could see they slid by the whatever they call it. What's the metaphor? By the thin of their teeth. Literally that close. Super small.
Right.
And it does look like they're getting better each time. I'm telling you, the impact Candace Parker has on that organization in general is just significantly different. I was very disappointed in how Diana played. I was disappointed in how the Phoenix Mercury played in general. And I'll throw that up too that they had a quick turnaround. I'll throw it up to the fact that she was in a hospital all night because her wife Penny gave birth. I don't know, but I will say she went from the hospital directly to the arena. I mean, at the end of the day, that's impressive. But I will say this, and this is the only time I'll ever say this: men do that when their wives are giving birth. So Diana, you got to step it up and prove that you can do it all better. But I don't know what it was. I don't know. But I think they'll have a great game too.
Yeah, I think the addition of Sophie Cunningham back in their lineup is going to help them a lot. I know you and her had some real battles when you were younger, but she is a tenacious basketball player. I think she's going to really help them too when she gets back in the lineup.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing though that Kia Nurse tore her ACL. That's a big one for them. And in the first 4 seconds to 4 minutes of the game, it was just terrible.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Phoenix, I think they were really exposed to the post position. And I never knew that they were that. The depth was terrible behind Brittany Griner. There's really no one else that can go. I was just very disappointed in who they sent in. They just couldn't keep up with Stephanie Dolson. They couldn't keep up with Candace Parker. They couldn't keep up with Azure. It was just a mess. So I don't know. If they can be more selective with their possessions, if they could, have the ball in their hands more often throughout the game, that's their biggest benefit because there's no way they keep up with them on the break. Right. But Jets lost yesterday, but they rallied.
Why you just throw that in there like that? It's
because they rallied. I'll give it to you. They rallied against the Falcons. Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how the game ended, but
I do.
Patrick Mahomes would look like he. Is it the line is bad?
Well, they figured it out. So I want to share something with you. Leslie Frazier is a dear friend of mine, probably the top defensive coordinator in the league, and he has done a phenomenal job with their defense. And they said the last 2 games they were crushing the offenses, but they hadn't played anybody. Well, they finally played the Chiefs, and they had Patrick Mahomes on his toes the whole time. He was rushing his passes. The receivers were intimidated. They were hitting. It was just so Leslie played for the Chicago Bears, fame.
Right.
And he is just one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. And I tell you, Josh Allen, as a quarterback, man, he showed. I mean, for 6'4", 235 pounds, fast, and throws the ball on a rope. He impressed the daylights out of me yesterday.
Hurdle over. Did you see him hurdle over?
Yes.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah. You can see they show Patrick on the sideline. He was like, wow, he can see it in his face. This kid is good.
Yeah. No, it was different, Dad. And one thing I will say about the Bills' defensive line is no matter what pass Patrick Mahomes tries to throw, whether it's lateral, whatever it's a quick pass, they will send that stuff right back down. Like they are like post players waiting in the paint. Do you think that's on his scout now? Because
yes.
The 4th game I've seen them do that.
Yeah, every play he's stressed. So he's going to get hit after every play. Nothing is easy. You notice he very rarely stayed in the pocket. They flush him out because he does a very good job going on the run. But the one thing I noticed, the receivers.
They get a little scared.
A lot of passes. And then their defense, man, I don't know what happened to their defense.
It looked like every time the ball was coming to them, they immediately were like, this. I mean, and there was a lot of injuries last night. One bad one with the knee, and I could tell that on immediate when you watch the replay. It was just, but the Chiefs need to get it together. That's all I'm gonna say. They paid him a lot of money.
Well, it's not just him. He does. That's what his the offensive coordinator basically said, Patrick, you don't have to be the hero all the time. Let someone else be the hero.
He's been the hero. That's the hard thing. Yeah, you're right. But it's so much easier to be the hero when no one has ever really played against you before. Now we're going into our year 2, year 3, year 4. You know what I mean? We're going to that. It's always hard for athletes in general. It doesn't matter what sport it is. People have film on you. People have played you before. Coaches have scouted you. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, man. I'm
Well,
telling you.
they had a really difficult injury. Their running back got hurt. The
Yeah.
running back got hurt.
Yep.
He's out. So they got some adjustments. Now they're 2-3. I think they'll bounce back. But when you win the Super Bowl, it's hard to come back and win it again because with free agency, teams are adapting. You'll see what they're made of. I mean, they have a great coach, and
He's a great coach.
he's a great coach, so they'll be okay. But
I will do this though. How about them Cowboys?
I know. Finally.
We all hate to see. We all hate to see it.
Right. But so good football. So look, and also I didn't on Saturday. You know, Yale played and they lost in overtime to Dartmouth. It was a great game. So now they're 2-2,
Right.
1-1 in conference. So I think this weekend they play UConn.
Oh God. Okay.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning, all. Good morning.
Yes. Big friend.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We see you guys come in. Now, I will say this: people don't understand. UConn's kind of a little bit of a drive, tiny bit of drive to Yale. I had
Hartford. Yeah, 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes on a map. You have to forget that you're in the Northeast, so you got to add another 45 minutes on there.
Oh, it's only
you got the traffic coming out of the Bronx. It's different, Dad. I was in traffic for 3 hours. I will say this is going to be an awesome game. UConn, of course, a very interesting school for football. No one really knows that, but they will give them run for the money because it doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, UConn is an elite school, and they get bigger guys, different kind of talent. So it's going to be very interesting in that sense. College football has been interesting, of course. Alabama lost. So sorry to see that first time since 2018, 2019.
Are you sorry?
I am.
Okay. Ball State had a big win against Army.
Yeah, but no, good stuff coming out of college football. It's really fun. A lot of cool deals coming out of these student athletes too with NIL. I've seen some really cool, interesting. Whether they're partnering with music producers, doing TikTok dances, whether they're partnering with Tom Brady, Trevor Lawrence, and then a kid out of Sacramento State who's under our partnership at Curran Media Co. Signed one for Forex. It's like trading, like cryptocurrency. Very interesting stuff. So a lot of interesting deals coming out for these kids and these athletes. So interesting stuff as we're only in 5 or 6 months into the legal name, image, likeness era for sure.
Are you pivoted to another topic with name, image, likeness for those who don't really understand it, but maybe we share that with them because it is something that is a part of what you do now.
Yeah, so name, image, likeness is that at the end of the day, student athletes can now make money off of their name, image, and likeness. It's like one thing that we were working hard for when I was in college, and it's now legal, and they can make money, whether they're making $1,000 a post to some are making $10,000 to $15,000 for partnerships, agreements, ambassadorships, influencerships, whatever it is they're doing. These kids can now at least make money off of who they are, which was not allowed, which kind of seems funny now that I'm saying that right now, that we couldn't make money off of who you are. It's kind of silly.
Right.
But it's legal now, and it's pretty interesting to see how these kids are navigating it all, whether they're using agents, whether they're getting help through the compliance officers at school, which is, of course, not happening. College coaches can't help, but parents and kids are really taking ownership of this stuff. So it's very interesting to kind of see who's capitalizing off of it, who isn't. But good stuff. We're in the near future. I'm going to try to bring, after we finish this, this wonderful series we have coming up, I'm going to try to bring some people on so we can discuss it because now that we've given it some time, it's gotten very interesting for sure.
Right. I know we'll talk about, but really quick. So the players that you folks have signed, what value did they see? Was it difficult to see the value of signing, and have they made any profit yet?
Well, it's always hard to get people to sign because they don't understand. They think they can do it by themselves. Right. But here's the difference between doing it by yourself to doing it with people who actually will help you do it for you. It's a maybe $600 to $1,000 difference.
Okay.
That's pretty significant when you want to make some money, right?
Right.
And so once they see that value, you normally get people to sign. People don't want to sign up for something that you're just not gonna, it's gonna be a waste of time and people are gonna take your money. One thing, a lot of, we're seeing so many agency pop up, right? We see a lot of great women's basketball players, Paige Beckers, the girl Haley out of Louisville. They're all signing with Octagon, CAA, right? All these top agencies that work with, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell. All these people are professionals. The only issue with, those agencies is they don't have social media skills, but and this is a very much a social media driven industry, so
Okay.
it's very interesting to see how that goes for sure. But it's fun stuff. It is fun. We'll talk about it in the near future for sure because it's still unfolding and we're
Right.
still trying to
Right.
figure out what it looks like, right? Because we're not even a year into this stuff, right? It's the first time people are and student athletes are allowed to make money, so it's very interesting. It's new and no one really knows what they're doing, but
Well,
it
thanks
is.
for sharing. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we're going to dive a little bit into the awesome show and the awesome series we have coming up for us. We are chose to do a four-part series dedicated to become mentally stronger. I thought it was an awesome time to start this because yesterday, Sunday, was World Mental Health Day. And I just thought it was a wonderful way for us to kind of really dive into our brains, figure out how to get a little stronger, whether it's as athletes or just as people. I think mental strength is something we all wish we could have on our in our toolbox, right? It's something we want people to describe us as. It's a wonderful compliment, but it's really about how do you get there, how do you achieve it. And so we wanted to, dedicate that series to that and just, talking as a family. And Dad, you've been a wonderful life coach for so many years, and you're going to dive into this soon. And throughout this process, we're hoping to kind of be able to build it up so you have more to educate people on and hopefully a website sometime soon. But we're going to start with part one today on this Monday on October 11th, Indigenous Peoples Day. I want to keep saying that. It's a day. It's a wonderful day. Also, side note on that, hold on. Today on Indigenous Peoples Day, we have a wonderful opportunity to kind of, there's a website, and I'll share it at the end of the show, where you can type in your zip code and look up what Native American and Indigenous peoples, tribes, languages, history was in your area at that time years ago before settlers came, conquerors came over and took over their area. And of course, we saw the decrease in Indigenous people's lives over the years through famine, disease, murder, all the other ways. But it's an amazing opportunity for you to kind of get in touch with who was here before you. And I thought it was pretty neat because I think, Dad, you would like that, of course, because you love history. But it's a pretty neat thing, and we were able to do it here. And we live in the land of the Kansa people. We were able to learn that and try to figure out what reservations are still here in Kansas, of course. So just a cool little side note for everyone to see because it is Indigenous Peoples Day, and it's just a neat one. But yeah, so today we're starting with part one on self-discipline. What is it? What does it look like? Why is it key to mental strength? Why are we starting with this one first? So, very interesting show ahead of us, which, of course, talking mental strength. Part one is self discipline. Let's dive right into it. Mr.
Right.
Suggs, what does self discipline look like? You have a couple steps written down, so why don't you take us through what the overview is of them?
Well, so let me share what I experienced, and part of obviously my success in life was um, because of my discipline, and it was early on, being an athlete. I think you experience a lot of that foundation was set by being an athlete and being in a team environment, and in that environment, you get a reprieve based on your ability to be disciplined and there's a regimen around it. Okay, not only prior to practice but in practice. Okay, everything is regimen, everything is discipline. So I've acquired that tool early on. So it was something that was very normal to me as I transitioned out of sports. I kind of brought that with me in
Right.
my professional environment. Um, the goal seeking, the accomplishing your goals and setting your goals, and a lot of that was because of the foundation I set as being an athlete. Um, the transition for me is I had to realize that um, um, how do I bring that into my real life? Now that I'm a father, now that I am, someone that has to redefine my life, but I had to go back to some of the things that I had to learn as an athlete, and talk about discipline, doing things in the morning. I talk about what I do in the morning. What are the things that people like to do? They like to wake up and take a cold shower. You know, what I do is I wake up and I get my coffee, and they say take a cold shower because it kind of wakes you up, it gets you uncomfortable,
Well,
right?
I take cold showers, which is people think
Yeah.
is psychopathic stuff. I always turn the water cold at the end of the shower. What it does is it stimulates your lymph nodes
Okay.
and kind of like a form of dry brushing, and it influences kind of like it makes your blood circulate better. All your body wakes up a little bit. It also prevents aging. It's good for your immune system to some people, but it's an awesome way. I would look up the benefits of cold showers, or even just turning right at the end of a nice warm shower, turning it so your muscles stay fresh again. Your body, like you said, wakes up. So go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, thank you. I want you to jump in too. Thank you for doing that because we come from kind of the same mold when it comes to learning self discipline, and a lot of people that have not been in sports, it could be new to them, where it's kind of natural for us. But now that I transitioned into from the sports, 'cause I kind of still use sports as an analogy to anything that I actually do, but the other piece of it that I've always done for me is the meditation piece of it. It's taking that quiet time. And I learned that in recovery. Learning in recovery was just taking that time, quiet time to just slow down and just allow. For me, it's a spiritual thing. Allow God to be the center and allow God to lead me out the door. But whether it's taking a walk, whether it's taking my coffee, whether it's reading my 24-hour books, just taking 5 or 10 minutes just to slow down before you walk out the door. And that's really, really important. And there's so many different things that people do. Some people do yoga, some people take a walk. There's a lot of different things that people do that helps with meditation. How about you? What's your,
Well, I want to go 1 to 2 because I feel like these two are two very much mentally training skills where
Mhm.
like a cold shower is obviously not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It's like when
that's supposed to be, right?
you jump in a cold pool for the first time, we all go, ooh, right? And then when you meditate, it takes real time to focus. Between the two of them, I think those ones are big on how do you form the actual skill of self discipline?
Yeah.
How do you challenge yourself to have to, figure out how to do it, right? Because it's not easy. Like your self discipline, say you want to stop eating chocolate for the month of September before you go into October because Halloween's coming, right? You have constant temptations at the stores, right? They're putting all the Halloween candy out. You have all the holiday candy left over from the summer. I mean, it's very much a thing that you have to on a daily remind yourself to stay self-disciplined. Remind yourself what the goal is, and that's something that taking a cold shower may help you do. Right? Train your brain. Whether you set a timer in the morning and see how long you can sit in the cold water and see how it affects your body, or whether it's when you do, you take your walks, you read your books for 10 minutes, or you just simply just lay in bed in the morning, sit up and just thank God for giving you another day. These are all forms of just training your body to kind of take that time for yourself and remind it who's boss, right? I'm the boss. I make the rules here. Follow the rules because it's not easy. No one can do it, right? It's not the best. Like no one's waking up and like I'm the best disciplined person in the world, right? Being athletes, it helped us very much, right? Because people enforce discipline on us from a very early age, and we learn to just pick it up. And even athletes struggle with self discipline because work ethic is a big thing that athletes struggle with, right? And I think that the key behind those first two, because we're talking about forming mental strength through self discipline, is very much you have to want to take ownership of your process when you're going through these things, and it'll kind of help you get stronger each day with these things like meditating, just trying to keep your brain calm, not thinking about, oh, I got to go pick up the groceries, oh, I got to go do laundry. Keeping calm, being where your feet are. I think these are great opportunities for you to kind of train your brain while trying to chase that idea of self discipline.
Right,
That's what I
right.
really talked about the
No, I
first.
like I like that. It's not just the cold water waking you up, but it forces yourself to endure stress and overcome the desire for that water. And so it forces yourself to do that. It's hard, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
You
get it now.
Yeah, you don't have to be in that cold water. No one's making you be in the cold water. That's the biggest thing I think for me is when you become an adult, it's even harder to be self-disciplined because no one's telling you what to do,
Yeah. You
right?
wake up in the morning, the meditation, there's a lot of clutter in your brain, right? There's a lot of stuff that and we'll talk about being positive and but it really allows you to clear that clutter out of your brain. And like I said, for me, if I put God in there, it allows me to to get to kind of level set. And it's a good discipline. It allows you to focus. And if you just continue to do it on a daily, I've been able to do it on a daily, it becomes habitual and it really, really, really works. So everybody has different things that they do, but just taking that, I call it quiet time for me.
Yep. And then here's number 3.
Yeah. So yeah. Now, so and this, I got this from and talk about begin your day with 100 push-ups or a mile a day, right? I do that every morning with dogs because of all of my injuries. I can't, I can't just do all that pounding, but I do find that, and we'll talk about making your bed because that's important to me. Okay, but I do that, but doing some type of exercise, whether it's my cardio glide, doing my the rollouts. I can't do 100 push-ups right now, but doing something every morning really, and it doesn't have to be a long time. It could be 10 or 15 minutes, but between walking the dogs, which is probably about 2 miles, right, and then coming back and doing that, they get distracted. Sometimes I have to put it back in the house and go back out again, but
Well, this is kind of similar to when we talk about the cold shower. When you work out in the morning, it wakes your body up, it wakes your bones up. When you work out, one thing that boosts is your endorphins. Those are your happy hormones, right? The ones that tell you I love life, I love all unicorns and rainbows. That is what that hormone is, and that stimulates when we work out, when you get your blood moving. And that's why if you ever worked out, gone and done yoga, if you ever gone and done like a nice spin class afterwards, you have this wonderful happy feeling, right? Similar to when kids go do recess. That's why recess exists. And so that is a wonderful way to start a day, especially when you're going through stuff, especially when you're stressed, right? Especially when
I agree with you.
Way for you to choose to try to get your day started on a good foot. And that's kind of what exercise does. Now, exercise is different. Do I think you should do 100 push-ups and 1 mile of run? That's really up to you, because I think it's wonderful. But always try to the night before think about what am I going to do tomorrow morning before I go take a shower. Maybe I go to the living room, I turn a nice yoga thing on, or maybe I do like 15 squats while my coffee's cooking, right? Or something like that. Set goals for yourself throughout the morning that'll help your body move around, get your blood pumping, kind of build those endorphins that are happy hormones that kind of get us through life, really, because they're your friend, especially when you're trying to build self-discipline and mental strength, because it all can be easy when you're challenging yourself on a daily to provide these reprieves, provide these happy moments, and that kind of comes from exercise for sure. So I like that one.
Yeah, let me share something also. Change it up too. You do different things, right? But the discipline of doing some type of exercise is what you're trying to accomplish. But do different things. I mean, just doing push-ups or just doing rollouts or the cardio glide or elliptical or bicycle or walking. Do
Yeah.
different things to change it up. But just or like you have a Peloton right there. I mean, you can probably see it from here, but I would be on the thing all the time. But just
Stay
change
well.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. How often do you do your Peloton?
I do it twice a week.
Okay.
That's it. Because the thing about Peloton is it's awesome and it's amazing. One of the great things about what people love it is because you can mix it up. But one of the biggest things for me is that no matter what, I always want to mix up. I don't like cardio. Everyone knows that. So I have to mix up cardio, and I like to do, workouts that are like, okay, I have to do I get 2 minutes, I have to do 15 push-ups, 20 squats, and 15 knee raises. And then if I get that all done in 2 minutes, I can rest until the next 2 minutes. And then I start that again and I go 5 times. So it's only 10 minutes. I burned 200 calories. I got my heart rate moving. I got my lungs expanding with air. So I kind of challenged myself a little bit, and I'm testing myself. And that's enough for me, because sometimes, if anybody knows this, working out, if you've ever been on a treadmill for 25 minutes, the most boring thing in the world, and sometimes it can be draining. But I will say, once you finish something like that, once you achieve something like that, once you keep your mind dedicated to, when you have like some sort of discipline to finish the task, to finish the workout, you do get that happy reprieve, you get that happy feeling. And that's kind of the whole point of why it's on this list, because it's very important to us as humans to kind of keep moving, but also telling you those happy hormones are key to a lot of people's happiness, because over time they get hard to chase. Get hard to chase.
One thing when we talk about goal set and Chiba Drive, set realistic expectations when it comes to working out. I usually use the term crawl, walk, and run. So, if you can't, 100 push-ups, so 5 push-ups or 10 push-ups, but do something that's realistic for yourself. But the key is the discipline of going through the action of doing it. And then you build from there. Don't get overwhelmed by saying, okay, I got to do 100 push-ups? Shafer and Faith, I got to do 100 push-ups. No, you don't have to do 100 push-ups. We're two athletes, right? We're used to that type of rigor. But as I get older, I got to adapt. I have to adjust. But don't get overwhelmed by you just got to set a realistic expectation of things that you can do. But again, it gets back to the mindset of the discipline of actually performing the task.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. And it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Similar to taking a cold shower. That's not supposed to be easy. But if you're joining us, reminder, we're talking about self-discipline in our mental strength series. And we're going to move on to number 4, which is a favorite of mine, which is make your bed. Why? Why on earth do I have to?
Well, you're not going to make more money. You're not going to be more, you're not going to, increase your sex appeal. You're not going to, they're going to do anything, but it actually gives you the discipline of, it's called productive state immediately. You begin being productive. And remember, you said something when you're planning for due that Coach P makes sure you guys, that's really actually, when you said that, that's that I didn't do it before, but every morning I make my bed just because it's the motivation to, one, it keeps you out of my bed. When you make it, you don't have to go back in your bed.
That's a big one.
That, right? But that is something that is, to me, is very, for no reason, but it's very, very important.
Yeah, well, like I said, we did it at every away trip we did. They would come and check if we made our beds, which was kind of childish, but it was very much when you make your bed every morning, you hit it right on the head. Good morning. You hit it right on the head. You don't want to get back in a bed you made, right? You did all the work trying to fluff the pillows the right way. And it's very different. Like if I told Shane right now, go make the bed, I have a higher chance of going and climbing back in bed than I would if I had made the bed, because you put the effort there. You set the habits to make the bed the way you like it. It's a wonderful way to kind of start your day off on the right foot. Similar to a workout, similar to meditating, similar to taking a nice shower. It's very much a great way to start your day. And honestly, like you said, is you've now completed a task already. Before you even left your room, you've already checked one task off your day. Why not go crazy and check off 1 billion other tasks today?
Yeah.
Right? It's a wonderful way. And there's many books talking about this. And there's a couple great books that say, make your bed. That's the name of it. And it's an awesome habit to have when we talk about forming self-discipline and setting your days off to a wonderful, positive start. I would try it. I challenge our viewers to try it at least once a week, and then build 2 times a week, then 3 times. I know beds are not something that we all want to just be able to go to work. We're sleepy, we're tired, we just want to come back. Some people like to work from bed now because a lot of us work from home. I will say this, Devin's age will not, now he doesn't even use top sheets. I have to point that out. I don't either because they're stupid, but I just you have to point that out that my generation doesn't use top sheets anymore. It's just a comforter and the bottom fitted sheet. And When I told Devin this, I said, well, make sure you start making, you didn't know that? That was a thing. It's too hot. Doesn't make sense. What's the point of the top sheet to begin with? Don't live in Alaska. Really wrap your head around that. So when I was like, well, just try it one time. And I'm telling you, when you make your bed the first time, you're like, oh, okay. And then you keep doing it, and now you feel like you're part of, I'm telling you, part of like the making the bed cult. Like you feel like you're part of like another group of people. You're better than everybody else because you're making your bed. And sometimes you just need that feeling go into your day. I completed a task. I did something for myself. My room looks beautiful. Just do that type of stuff and watch how it impacts you.
Yeah, so it does. It puts you into that disciplined and productive state immediately.
Yep.
Question is, do you take your cold shower and then make your bed, or you make your bed and take your shower?
You're supposed to make your bed right when you get out of it.
Right. Because I like that because when you come out of the shower and you see your bed made, it's like
The day started.
day started. Right. Right.
The day has started. The day has started. All right, number 5. Eliminate
This is
distractions.
hard. This is hard. I'm still working on that, right? Because when you have this is the distraction. This is a distraction. How do you eliminate those distractions?
Well, this is my job. So distractions for me, right? This is my job. So distractions for me may be, gosh, maybe I have time to take a 25-minute nap, and I'll have enough energy to go work out. I have enough energy. So that's for me is one of the biggest things. My distractions are sometimes my self-talk. And I think that's something we have to navigate because sometimes distraction is pizza, right? If someone lives above a pizza joint and they go on a diet, that's a distraction, right? You walk down the street, you see donuts in the window. That's a distraction, right? And obviously these are the simple ones, right? The simple cookie cutter distractions that we all describe when we're talking self-discipline, right? But one of the biggest things for me is for me that challenging myself to correct my self-talk, right? And I think one thing people forget is when we're talking about forming these habits of self-discipline, trying to become mentally strong, right? We set a goal, whether it's, lose 15 pounds or I want to bench press 185 by the end of the month of October, right? These are my goals. I put them down. I wrote them in my phone. I have the workout plan. I have all the resources needed to achieve that goal. You have to remember that your self-talk is the one that tries to get you off the hook every single time. Whether it's, all right, well, you can take a nap before your workout and then you'll have enough energy for your workout. Yeah, that's a smart decision. But deep down inside, once you take that nap, you're not going to go work out. You're gonna want to rest, and you're gonna think to yourself, "Oh, well, I deserve this. I'm gonna also just And once you get in that bed, then you're like, all right, well, also I didn't work out, so why don't I just order a pizza, right? Why don't I just open a glass of wine?" And so that little thing. You keep tricking yourself into thinking that not only do you deserve it, but also it's okay. You'll work out twice as hard tomorrow, right? You'll work out twice tomorrow. You'll work out 3 times on Friday. You won't do any of those things because you're already allowing yourself off the hook. And for me, that's one of my biggest things is when we talk about self-discipline, it's navigating the uneasy waters of self-talk because you are your biggest critic and you're also your biggest mama. Okay, you will coddle yourself, you will love on yourself, you will give yourself all the love that you need to get right off that hook and eat that pizza and eat those Oreos and whatever you need, whatever it is, right? I'm just obviously using weight loss as the thing or whatever it is, but if it could be something as small as that, and you allow yourself that one time to think, oh, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Watch how that affects. Don't make your bed. Watch how that affects your day. Something like that. Everything is like a domino effect and it affects each other. And so for me, when we talk about eliminating distractions, I have to eliminate my own self-talk because I distract myself from the goal.
Oh, that's powerful. So when I said this, there's things about this that can be distracting, and so to get to the second part of complaining because it gets very negative. But this could be a powerful vehicle if you're being productive, like it's your job. But there's places that you can go here that can be very distracting, that can get you in a mindset that will allow you to navigate your day the way you should be navigating it, right? So
Yep.
that's kind of what I meant there because this could be a great tool. So I do my reading off of this. I do my Bible off of this, right? But
Right.
do I have to go to Instagram? Do I need to go? Do I have to reply to that text? That's a level of discipline that you have to continue to work on.
Yep. Yep. That's the thing is you have to figure out what your distractions are. Everybody's distractions are different. Some people may walk past pizza and feel no desire to go eat that slice of pizza. For some people, it could be, oh, I'm just gonna, take my water break and I'm gonna change the music during my workout. And you do that and you pick up your phone and you're lost for 20 minutes and your workout completely stopped, your heart
Yeah.
rate has gone back down, and it's now back to the start. You have to work harder to get it back up. You have to be able to figure out what it is, and that's being brutally honest with yourself. What is it that if it pops up in my way, I'm like a dog with a squirrel? What is it, right? And so that's like you hit it right on the head. Some people it's the phone, some people it's this, some people it's that. You just have to figure out what it is for yourself. And when you can do that, it just makes it a little bit easier. It's not going to make it all of a sudden possible, but it's going to make it a little bit easier for when you face those little pieces of distractions, adversity, challenges. You can call it for what it is and figure out a way around it.
Right, right. It's like you got to know what your negative distractions are.
Yep.
This is really good because it's like cancer to your soul.
Yep.
You every time you complain, you tell yourself that life sucks, and things that aren't the way they should be, and I mean, I always use the term the glass is half filled, not half empty.
Mm-hmm.
So like just stop complaining, and that's the power of this. This will allow you to go down that rabbit hole, right? And staying positive. So I don't know if you want to touch on that a lot, but this is really powerful.
So when we talk about complaining, one thing I had to learn, I saw something yesterday for World Mental Health Day. E-News actually posted on social media. It can be positive and it can be negative, just like you said. They posted something. They said, "Hey, you, how are you? We're just checking in on you because it's World Mental Health Day. We know life can get hard sometimes, right? They're not asking you to complain. They're not asking you to, feel terrible about yourself, but they're asking you to address life can be hard sometimes, right?
Yes.
They can throw adversity at us. They're saying, we're not saying you have to try to get up and figure it out now, but eventually you will. Eventually you'll get your opportunity." And I love that because it wasn't asking people to go sit and mope in their moment, right? It wasn't asking them to be like, gosh, there's no end to this struggle. I'm never going to lose weight. I'm never going to get that job. There was never in anywhere in the video. And it was very much, eventually you will. Eventually you'll figure it out. Eventually you'll stop drinking. Eventually do this. Eventually that. It was a wonderful, because I thought it was an encouraging way to be truthful with yourself, be kind to yourself without complaining, without putting yourself down, without giving up. I thought it was a wonderful way. And I thought that's the biggest thing is that people have to understand there's a difference between complaining and being kind to yourself. There's a major difference, 2 different levels. Complaining is that you've already lost, right? Yeah. When you're kind to yourself, you're acknowledging this is hard, right? Yeah. Nothing about life sometimes is easy. That's why a lot of people struggle. But when you acknowledge that the truth of it all, right? And you acknowledge that you can eventually, that's the key word. You will get to there eventually. You will figure out eventually. You will be able to, self-discipline yourself to be able to get that 1 mile mark that you want to get, right? Or be able to walk in the gym where the weights are and all the guys are, right? You maybe have a fear for that, right? That's the biggest thing. I think we have to address that. Is sometimes people think complaining, it feeds your soul, right? But it feeds everything, that self-talk I was talking about. It feeds that. Yeah. It feeds those excuses you make for yourself. And when you figure out what those things are, like we said, in eliminating your distractions, right? And you acknowledge, okay, I'm human. Yeah, I like pizza. I do. But eventually I'll be able to, not have to order pizza once a week, or not have to order pizza when I've had a really hard day at work. Maybe I'll just get a nice chicken salad or something like that and be able to feed my soul with love. And we talked about that a little bit on Friday with the huddle with Lene. And I think that's a big point, Dad. Quit complaining, but be honest with yourself and be kind to yourself and acknowledge that life is hard and you eventually will get better. But don't sit there and complain, like you said, it's cancer of the soul. Don't sit there and allow it to take over you, because at the end of the day, you've already lost.
Right. I like that. No, not giving it power. Let me ask you this, Faith: how important it is to surround yourself with people that are that.
Yep. Yep. You know what? I love this, because we're going to talk about habits the next show, and then we're going to talk about how to pick a circle that helps you become mentally strong. And it's so key, because when you talk about building people around you, that goes into eliminating distractions. People that maybe already know your goals and help you achieve them, right? Right. And I think this happens to a lot of women, is we lose weight differently than men do. Right? You know this. You were married. You guys can eat healthy for 1 week and lose 25 pounds, right? Women at the end of the day have different bodies. They move different. They lose weight and they gain weight funny, right? Especially after women have kids. So having a partner who understands your goals, understands what you're trying to achieve, and it's like smacks that pizza out of your hand, right? Or it's like, pizza, let's go to the movies and bring healthy chocolate covered pretzels or something, right? Something that's an easier snack. And that's a big thing, because like you said, it's an ally. You just find someone who understands your goals, who appreciates your process and your journey, and wants to help you achieve it like it's their own journey. And I'm excited actually to talk about that in the next couple of shows, maybe 2 Mondays away. Again, this is a 4-part series on mental strength. So make sure you guys tune in for that. But it's going to be an exciting one, because that's a great topic to talk about, because all of these things can't happen without your strong foundation and the foundation you bring together with other people.
Right.
Yeah. So awesome show. A reminder to let's go through this. Again, this is the mental strength series. We started part 1 with self-discipline. Number 1 was take a cold shower every morning. Number 2 was meditate or pray or just sit in silence for 10 minutes a day. Number 3, begin your day with 100 push-ups or 1 mile, or just do a couple squats while your coffee is on the kettle, or whatever you guys do to drink it. I drink tea. Number 4, a wonderful one, is make your bed. Achieve something before you even walk out the house.
Right.
Number 5, eliminate your distractions. Navigate and figure out what those distractions are. And number 6, quit complaining and be kinder to yourself, and know that you will get there eventually. Wonderful show, Dad. A great first show and first part to this great series about mental strength and just building those habits in your brain. We talk about habits next Monday. We have a wonderful show of The Huddle on Friday at 10:04 a.m. Eastern. And we'll be in contact with you guys on Wednesday and throughout the week on what that will be. Rerun of a wonderful show from season 1, of course, will be coming on Wednesday like we always do. So if you didn't catch up with us on season 1 over a year ago, we bring them back to you guys on Wednesday. So thank you again, everyone, for joining this wonderful Monday morning. We're so thankful there to talk with us about mental strength and, most importantly, self-discipline. We thank, of course, Amazon Fire, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Apple TV, and, of course, our key platform out of Phoenix, Arizona, E360 TV. And again, this is Faith Family Focus, where we use our faith as a vehicle to help heal and sustain others on strengthening their own path to the family core. And go ahead with our slogan.
Let go, let God, let go, let faith, let go, let love.
Everyone have a wonderful Monday. Make your beds.